I had been struggling for years to get the messaging out, and I had done so many different courses on how to get online because I really want this to reach a lot of people. I wake up with overwhelm every day. How do I share how I love how I live without having to get caught up in all the marketing? I want to know, how is it possible that I can find the joy and not get caught up in this social media trap? There'd be like this dread of having to be online. And I'm saying, hey, I found a way out of all of that. That one messaging that is still my niche, but having one product with different ways of working with me on the same product. That gives me energy.
Yasmin, welcome to the show. Alessia and I are super excited to have you here because you are a special human, and you are such a unique person that we discovered along the way. What you do is inspiring. You've gone against so many disciplines because you've tried many things. Your practice is so revolutionary that it's almost like you have no competition. Like, of course you do, but I feel like you are a leader of your own. That's why I wanted you on the show. I wanted you to share how you got here and how you help people. So, because I'm gonna butcher what you do, I want to hear it from you. Like, how would you describe what you do to somebody that's never heard of you?
I often describe it as tuning in to our body's ability to heal itself. And the way that we connect to this felt experience is through fascia, the soft tissue that forms everything in our body. It is super sensory. It's our hidden sense. And I help people to reduce stress, calm chronic pain, and help them understand how they got there in the first place and how you can shift your biology through your body. And at the heart of the practice is a movement, intuitive movement process called fascial unwinding. And it emerges literally from the inside out. And it does so much. Apart from movement, it shifts our biology and it brings our body back in tune.
Well, sign me up. That sounds amazing, right? And I want to go deeper into how many ways you've helped people with this. But let's start from the beginning. I know we connected about a year ago, actually, and tell us a bit more about how your business looked like when we first connected.
Oh gosh, I had been struggling. By the time I met you, I had been struggling for years because this goes against so much of what we know, and struggling for years to get the messaging out. And I had done so many different courses on how to get online because I really want this to reach a lot of people. And I tried everything. I mean, I paid so much for so many different ways. And then I found you, just a YouTube video that inspired me to reach out. So that's where I was.
And you're big on YouTube as well. I know you love it now, but well, I know that was a little bit of a struggle in different ways when we met. So what did you, if thinking back, what was the hardest part for you back then?
It was knowing how this practice can help so many and trying to serve different people, different products. And I just found myself in overwhelm with the marketing.
Mm.
It was, I would wake up with, oh my gosh, and every single day, and I actually created an IG post about this, is I wake up with overwhelm every day, not because I don't love how I live, but how do I share how I love how I live without having to get caught up in all the marketing and rising above the noise. And I had all these different products, and each day would be like, maybe I could do it like this. And then I'd go down that path, or I'd see something, see someone promise that this is the easiest way you can get there and you can get this many followers, and I'd get caught up in this sales pitch, and then I would start the process and then get stuck in overwhelm. So that's why I had all these different things, different names for things, in trying to get people to find this simple approach to restoring energy, vitality. It's like, how do I do it? That was my overwhelm.
But it's so beautiful to hear you now. Like I know that I'm excited to share with the world what you do and how you do it. And I've seen your transformation. But what I love the most about you is that we've been very connected because of the way movement make people feel, right? And we know that the thing is we know what to do. We know how movement makes us feel. We know how we can get out there, and also we need to be known and we need to be discovered. I personally, when I started, felt so overwhelmed like you. There was this constant chase of finding what was the best way to connect with people. But there was like for me it was very clunky. But I also want to hear it from you because I know that we clicked on this very much until we found a way to shift that way of seeing how what marketing can do. But I wanted to ask you, so how did you feel when you first started about marketing and social media and everything that was behind it? I know that you had this overwhelm of following everyone and trying to find your own way, but tell me more about this
Yeah,
feeling.
that's where I was, and I was really kind of, looking for something. When I really came across your YouTube video by chance. But what really resonated was you were sharing exactly how it felt for you. I was feeling how it felt for you. And what you were sharing is how to live your life. Not, and I'm all about that. I'm not about separating your work from your life. Your life is your life. And what I was hearing from you is that there is a way to love absolutely what you want to share with the world and find a way to streamline it so you find the joy in sharing without the overwhelm. And that was how I found you. And, when you offered that free session, I'm like, I'm really curious about this. I want to know, how is it possible that I can find the joy and not get caught up in this social media trap and the so many courses trap. And yeah, and I think that first conversation that I had with you both really landed in my heart. You're just so authentic. And because, Alessia, you come from a movement background, and from that very first session, I felt like you had my back. And I felt there was something that I felt about you. And I think in the work that I share and I offer, I'm always looking for that connection. I sense it in myself. So I just know when someone is kind of selling and it just doesn't resonate with me. But I felt very held in that first session. You didn't overpromise. You really wanted to get to know where I am. There was no, just taking me on board because that was the next step. It was, are you a good fit for us? Where are you in your journey? And that's how I almost felt like, I hope they pick me. That's how it felt.
There is something. Well, thank you so much for your words, by the way. And this is how we like to deal with people, like normal people, not with like a scripted call or like trying to close someone. I think high level people are tired of that, and they want like genuine connection from people that can guide them through, the ups and downs of this madness that we call marketing and online business. But there is something that you said before about trying, like the reason why marketing felt overwhelming, and I see this in so many other people, many other clients have exactly the same experience. When there is this attachment on the word marketing, there is this urge to, like, almost like a falling back into trying to raise above the noise and selling mode, which is almost, it's almost artificial. We have an imaginary image of our selling identity that is completely distorted from who we are. And the reason why it becomes overwhelming is because we are trying to become this salesperson, this social media influencer, or whatever we believe we are supposed to be. That is why we are confused. We don't know what to do because that's not us. And we don't really know how to speak that language because it's not our language. And um, and that becomes so saturated at some point that people either give up, or they say, you know what, I've got enough value that I want to help people with what I have built and gained over the years. How do I make this thing work? And that it was, I feel like, the breaking point for so many people. And what was your breaking point? When did you say, okay, enough, I need this to change? What was it? Was it just the YouTube videos, or was it like a pivotal moment during that phase of your life? What was it?
I think it was the, I had done the first certification, and I loved kind of that process, and I wanted to continue, but it was like, how do I continue from here? But if I had to put a word on it, it would just be, it was just the overwhelm. It was the, I want to live my life, my soma sensing, what I call, I'm a founder of a practice called soma sense. Soma sensing is how you connect to your body and follow its inner wisdom, right? So, and I live that life, but at the same time, it was, I want to share this, but there'd be a dread. There'd be like this dread of having to be online and to do the social media. And I think that was my kind of tipping point into something has to shift here. And then finding you and hearing the kind of integration, the changing the marketing to the messaging, changing it from the dread to the energy. How do we bring back the energy? So that was my tipping point. It's like, I really want to find a path, a way that is going to not feel as overwhelming. But this calling is so strong. I can't just let go of it. I could easily go and live my life and, I don't know, make muffins and sell them as a living, right? But that's not my calling. I mean, I could do it, but I keep saying if I wasn't doing this, that's what I would do. But there's this deep inner calling. I hear people in pain. I hear them in stress. I hear them when I'm out in a coffee shop, women talking about their menopause. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, if you only knew this. And it was wanting to get known, because I would see everybody else and, just kind of in a similar field to mine. Some are great, some kind of just stepping in, they have a little bit of knowledge. And this, how do I get known so that people can find me and get the help that they really need? And so hearing where you were at, just the authenticity about how, Alessia, you serve people, and Iacopo, how you serve people. And it was that you had this energy about you that felt like, maybe I need to model myself on this rather than try and sell. But what are they doing that's giving them the lifestyle that they want, and yet they serve? I think that's where I was at.
And I think you mentioned once, you once were top salesperson for a gym. Is that
Yeah.
true?
Oh gosh, I was the top salesperson, not only for the gym. Oh, can I go into that a little bit?
Sure.
So I love serving. Like I started out as a fitness professional just because I thought my body was out of shape in my 20s after having my children. Anyway, that's where it started. And so it started with exercise to music, meeting people. That's just who I was. And then going down this, and at that time I was obsessed with the gym. That was like my home. And there was an opportunity to sell memberships. And yeah, I was the top salesperson for that. But also, what you don't know, I don't think I've shared this with you. I'm a single mom. You know, my children are older now, but I was a single mom. I was trying to hustle, make a living, while still enjoy what I'm doing. And someone introduced me to recruitment, IT recruitment, someone from the gym, because I was this top salesperson. They said, hey, if you want to make a bit of money, you know, this is how you can. In those years, when there was no Wi-Fi, by the way. And I became the top salesperson for a recruitment company. I had made them the most money in a single year. So I knew how to sell. Yeah. And my client was, one of my clients was Vodafone in the UK. You probably don't know them. But I was recruiting people who were becoming experts in wireless technology. So I was in a niche. So I know all about niches, and I was in that niche, and that's how it happened. So I made a lot of money. But it was the connection with people. That's what it was in sales. And I could write you a sales book about that. I actually had some amazing training around that. So we did NLP, and we did how to be consultative in your sales approach. So all of those skills kind of come into play. So I really don't like the hard sell. And I've never been a hard sell person, but I would still earn a lot even in that space. But anyway, there was a big shift in my sensing the body. And I left recruitment when 9/11 happened. There was a big shift. Now I'm really showing my age, aren't I? 9/11 was when I was still in the gym. That was my love. And then I came across this somatic process of tuning into the body, and the messaging from your felt sense just confirms what you already knew inside, that the person that you are, like all of us, none of us want to be hard sell. We all have, there's an inner knowing of how we feel when the body's regulated, when our nervous system's regulated. So I wanted to approach my life and the way that I want to share this in that same regulated process. And even though I know all of this, it needed someone from the outside to what I call co-regulate, to kind of have my back when I'm in overwhelm, to bring me back to quiet, because they're able to listen, and you're great listeners. You're great listeners, and you also know when I'm in that overwhelm. And the way that you have that connection with me is really, I really feel held in that. And it's like this whole rhythm it's a rhythm of connection. It's a rhythm of marketing, where it's not really marketing, it's an energy flow. It's how you feel, how it lands in your body. And there is definitely, what I've learned from you is there's definitely a part where you have to ask yourself, what is your purpose of being out there? What is your main purpose? Is it just to be out there and share your messaging? That's where I was. Oh yeah, I'll just share this. Not inviting people to somewhere where they could practice it. So I made the mistake of, I'm just out, I'm going for a swim. Let me just take my little IG, getting into those vanity metrics of social media, looking at the likes. And today it's not like that at all. It's like, this is who I am. If you want to live your life well, I can guide you, and you can start here. That's been the big difference. And you've helped me with that.
Wow, how incredible. I love hearing your journey. And I also love hearing how you navigated your body in the way you felt, in the way also your business has, not only your business, but also the way you've also chosen your jobs, if it felt right, where it went. I think I believe that the universe tells us exactly what we need to learn and when, and that's why it guides you through specific pathways. So once you are ready, even for your own business, is to say, "Hey, I've got all this knowledge that I can actually put into practice." But it's also nice when someone can hold you and help you and listen to you. And I love hearing the fact that when anything becomes sticky, it's almost like you know what you're doing, but you don't know what you're doing. Almost like this is what I want to do, but I am not fully, which you said at the very beginning, is like I was guiding my people, but it's almost like I wasn't the embodiment of what I was teaching. And that not being aligned, it clashed and it made you feel weird. It made you feel that, okay, social media doesn't work. I'm just putting things out there for the sake of putting things out there. The business is working, but it's not at its best where it can be, or not just earning the money but helping as many people as we want. So they go hand in hand. But because you didn't feel right in there, there was something misaligned. So the fact that you know what you're doing, you're freaking good at it, but it's not what I'm living. And I love that you said, okay, I need to think about my lifestyle and the way it works. And so obviously there has been a shift in between what your business was back then and what it is now. So can you tell me more how they compare on what you had before, when it was misaligned, and what you have now that is perfectly aligned with where you are at
Yeah.
now?
And I think something that's just come up as we were having a conversation and I was sharing with you and going back to where I was in my recruitment years and having this energy and for everything. So yeah, before I share that, the frustration for me was also that my body did not have the energy that it did at that time. So, I'd been through my journey and, the changing years. I had chronic fatigue. But chronic fatigue isn't something that we need to be living in. That's the main thing. And now I have energy and vitality that's different, but it feels amazing, right? So it feels absolutely amazing. And that's because of where I'm at now. And where I'm at now is, I've arrived to where I'm at now from some of the questions that you asked me at the very beginning. So I do feel like it's important to highlight that for anyone who's wondering. The kind of questions that you ask really allow us to listen to the inner voice. So what you call the universe, I call the inner voice. And you asked me in our very first session, who are you? Are you somebody who is just out there wanting to help everybody? Or are you someone who's a leader who has a message who can inspire? And I'm definitely the second. And I was trying to be both. And that does not fit in with my authentic self. I'm not somebody that can, for example, I'll be completely honest, I'm not someone who can go into care home and help people. That would overwhelm me. But I am someone who has found a way to self-heal for those who have the capacity, for those people who are really interested in their well-being. And they've tried all these different things and they still feel stuck. And I'm saying, hey, I found a way out of all of that. And this is what it is, right? So that was number one, is being a leader, a pioneer, someone who is cutting through the noise of everything that's out there, right? So cutting through the noise. And even though I knew that's where I was for years, I've been doing this for over 15 years. And people who know me are like, wow, she's still grinding, she's still there. When is she going to get known, right? I felt that. It's like, why am I doing this, right? But at the same time, seeing all this stuff and, the kind of people I help are people sometimes nobody else can help. Some of them might be have Parkinson's. They're very stiff in their body. I can't tell you how many I've helped with chronic pain, things like fibromyalgia, and they have this information, but they don't have the understanding of the whole, right? So where I'm at now and what I've really appreciated is that clarity. First of all, who are you? What is the messaging? And then the messaging was easy. It shifted. It's like, I'm not trying to say what so-and-so is saying and saying, oh, I can help you with this. And it's like, hey, this is who I am. This is my story. And this is how I got out of it, out of what you're feeling. This is it. And having one clear message. That's where I'm at today. What you've helped me with is, what is your story? Why are you here? What is it that you feel is helping you live that life of purpose? So that was the messaging that came through. It's different to, oh, I want to help lots of people. It's, why am I doing this? And it's to share the story, the journey, the stuff that people go through in trying to find that thing that's going to make them feel well. I've been on that journey. And I know what it is now. And I've helped people who want to know. And the product that I have now, or the offer that I have, I like to call it an offer. You help me with that. It's just one. It's like one foundation. I love that. It's this one foundation. There is a path. You go from here to here, rather than here's a movement program for this. Here's a thing for this. And oh, if you are a woman over 40, this is for you. If you are an athlete, this is for you. It's identifying that one messaging that is still my niche, but having one product with different ways of working with me on the same product. That gives me energy.
I love it. The reason why I've asked you about your sales background was also because I know many people might think, well, I'm not good at all of this stuff because I haven't been trained into sales. I don't know what marketing is and all of that. But what you just shared is that you knew all of this stuff. You were a top salesperson in many different niches, and it sounds like it's a journey of sort of unlearning in a way, so that when you unlearn, you leave space for your inner voice that is finally telling you, listen, you don't need to be a marketing legend or a copywriter or a social media influencer. You are living your content. It's your life. It's what you do. It's your story. Why don't you just share that? You don't have to imagine it. You just need to remember it and share it. So much easier. But for some reason, we all caught up in this rising above the noise. I need to shout louder, otherwise people don't hear me. People don't hear them because what they're saying is not really embodied. It's not really true. So it feels fake and nobody listens because of that. And I'm glad you realized that, because now that you feel completely different about your business, your offer also, you recently launched this new offer that you talked about. So what was the experience around that launch?
Well, I think I had to shift, I'm shifting paradigms. I had to shift my paradigm about offers and all of that. And the launch went better than I expected. Even in terms of what I was, what I was charging for this, it's like, oh, could I do that? And I think what you really helped me listen to was, what is my value? Like, what is this value? And, it doesn't start with pricing at all. That's what I learned. Everything that we've been through, every session that we've been through, I've sat with it, I've let it land. And the thing that really helped me with launching was knowing what the value is, first of all, and trusting in what people will experience on this journey. And that whole process became much more energized and engaging. Like, within that week of launching, where I was sending the emails and creating the content for social media, usually I'd be sitting going, oh yeah, I've got to put a post up today. And then it was just like, oh, I've got this launch coming up. I'm going to just give them little bits of what I will be sharing. And not like I'm going to be sharing this, but just, as you said, how I live my life, my embodiment, why I move this way instead of that way. And it's just like a 30-second clip, and then inviting them to, experience it. And that's the whole process is all about, how can people get closer to me? How, what is the point of just sharing on social media? Yes, it can be there, but how can you begin your path of healing through this or through this program? And yeah, I'm really enjoying that process. I'm still in that, and we're kind of looking at how do I want to do the next one, and so on. So the journey is so much, what can I say? What's the word I'm looking for? It's a lived experience. It's not like a goal that I have to reach. It's just an ongoing process. Every week I'm living and I'm going, oh, I want to share this with them. And then I'm listening to the group and what they require and creating the next lesson. There's no, I need to create all of this upfront. It's like, no, it's a conversation. People will tell me what help they need, and I can then share how this process can help them. So that's where I'm at right now, and about to look at the certification. Yeah.
Oh, this is so gorgeous. Like your transformation literally from coming into becoming the leader, but it's not even becoming because you were already the leader, into finding your own ways, into creating this path for you and for the people that are under your wing. You're just leading them. You're not dragging them, and you are literally just showing them the path to say, this is how I did it, this is the way. But also what I love, and it's something that resonates with me, the way you speak about it, the way you've transformed throughout life, it's your constant change. It needs to feel right. It needs to mold to the person who that you are in that specific season of life. In the way there is always that hint. It's like you feel it. It's like, is this the right thing for me to do right now? Is it not? Do I need to change it? Does it suit me? And that's what I love about you, and that's why we resonated so much and so quickly in everything that you did and everything that I did. It was just a beautiful conversation not only with the people that you have in front, but also with yourself. And I think one of the most important thing in business, and anyone that is creating from scratch a business or already is in a business, when it feels, I say this often, if it feels clunky is because it's not aligned and maybe needs to tweak, he needs to change, he needs to mold with you, because sometimes we try to do things that were okay with us 10 years ago, but we're not the same person that we were 10 years ago, and therefore everything that we do now changes with us, and we shouldn't be afraid of making the change and directing the way our business feel and looks and gets transformed and molded to how we feel right now. So thank you for sharing that. It was beautiful.
And I think also what Iacopo was saying earlier about unlearning, or because we embody the marketing and the sales that we've done before. That's part of our embodiment as well. It's a habit, it's a pattern, right? So yeah, you just made me realize today that was thinking, oh well, but I know this is it, the consultative approach of selling, whatever, and shifting that paradigm, and listening to that. And also something you said, Alessia, in our sessions, even in the last one recently, was the energy with which you arrive. And in my entire practice is about energy. And what shifted for me was, instead of recognizing that I have low energy, for example, when it comes to social media, because it's shifting the relationship that you're having with yourself about it. And as soon as I'm always inspired by people's inner voice, right? So that's the thing, is we all have some kind of inner wisdom. So that last session you spoke from your heart and you were saying, what is the energy? And I slept that evening and suddenly it arrived differently the next day. And it all clicked. It's like, this is not about sales at all. Not at all. And it's all about the energy behind the connection that you have with people. And it's very difficult because you're on a screen on social media, but you start with your energy, and it can just come from there. And that's been a big shift for me. Yeah.
You kind of already answer the question that I wanted to ask you about, like, how do you feel about marketing and sales? And you kind of said that already.
Yeah,
But
because
there's
and also, as
something.
soon as it arrives now, since a couple of days ago, I just what I do is I take a pause. I'm always all about taking a moment to pause. I take those moments to pause, and I'm out in nature, and what I'm doing is recharging, because the inspiration comes from the recharging of our body. Because we can't just go through life sitting on a mountain meditating and not doing anything purposeful in our lives, right? So it's less about the doing and it's more about recharging. And then the inspiration arises for creating content on social media. And literally that's what happens. So Iacopo, you mentioned that there was an IG post that I did about a hip hinge. And do you know, that morning, I wasn't even planning. I just came in, I did my movement, and then I'll do that. And just propped up my camera, did that, and that was it. There was no
Yeah, I loved
plan
it.
in that at
I
all.
loved it. But there's something else as well that you mentioned, and I know many people. So here's the thing: many people are scared of doing what you're doing now with this new offer, and I'll tell you why. People want to have everything built out, planned, so that when they launch, everything is ready. And most of the time, this fails because what they've planned is not exactly what the people inside the program need, right? And the big shift that we always have to do with all of our clients is like, your value is not the amount of videos that you have on the back end. It's not the amount of tools, resources, or PDFs that you can create. It's not how good your Canvas skills or Photoshop skills are and how pretty it is. People need your guidance, and that guidance can be uh, gently reactive to what the group needs. So I feel like you've gone through the journey of accepting your values, and say, I'm going to create a path for my people that I assume they need to go through, but I'm going to allow spontaneity from the group to arise and allow space, hold space for them there. So your whole offer is now around you catering to their journey, rather than you having to build for months before even getting to market. This to me is a huge shift, because when you really accept the fact that you are what people are paying for, like access to you is people are paying for, and you structure an offer in which there is reciprocity. People are paying you regularly, and you can show up in a way that you tailored around your lifestyle regularly. How does that feel to you?
Yeah, exactly what you described. I was looking at, how much should I give people in their courses? And this time, it's so different. Again, it's that aha moment, that shift of what people actually require for transformation. And they don't need an hour-long video explaining information. Not that I create them, but I know that I don't need that. And so this time I've really streamlined it to transformation. And it could be a 2-minute audio session, just a 2-minute something on and I still feel, even though I've streamlined it, I still feel there's still a little bit too much, and how much less we require for the transformation, because that's the most important part. If someone comes to me and they want to sense ease in the body, I can take them there in a few moments, right? And the other thing that I realized is they need repetition. So you don't have to always create new information. They need a reminder of what they've learned in week 1, maybe in a slightly different way. So you don't have to build out your entire course. What is important is to be clear about where they are and where they want to be. You've drilled that into me. I've heard it from others too. As a coach myself, I've always looked at, where are you now? Where do you want to get to? But it's how do you translate that onto an online course where people don't have access to you all the time? You're not seeing them live. And before this, I was like, oh my gosh, I had this fear of not adding value because people needed me there live. That was my biggest obstacle. You know that. You spent a few sessions getting me to see a different approach. And I tell you what the shift was when you started helping me with sharing content on YouTube. I created this video, and when someone tried it and I'd not met them, didn't know who they were, they left me a lovely comment like, oh gosh, this is what I've been looking for. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is possible. I can create an audio, I can create a video, and I don't have to be there. Yes, if you want me there, you have this other access to me. And in this way, you've got different entry points, to you, the proximity to you. And in the past, I just never thought that was possible. I was so precious about, I have to be there. And that has shifted everything. So yeah, don't have to do everything up front. Listening to the people during their journey is gold dust, because you're not having to figure out what they're thinking, feeling. They will tell you. And you've shared that with me too. And that is part of coach. As a coach, I know that, but when you're working one-on-one, you just don't know how to, in person, how to translate it to an online course. So I'm learning as I'm going along about value, people's nervous system, how much information can they take, and how to offer them the repetition. Because I had someone the other, in this last session say, hey, you know that little session you gave us in week 1? I don't want to go all the way to find it. Can you just tell me what that is? So now I've thought, oh my gosh, I could just put a module of core practices right after the welcome in my course platform. So it's something they can always go to easily. So they don't have to go through weeks and weeks. They could just get to it. So I'm learning as I go along, and it's, you just do it as you go along. You don't have to know everything.
Yeah, and you learn how the tools, automations, even AI sometimes can help you facilitate their journey. You don't have to be there. So that is really something you discover along the way. Like, for example, a few months ago, I trained a GPT to avoid having to sit for an hour going through an avatar, the Mighty Seven, which we go through 7 questions, which are really important to understand who we're talking to and all of that. Now I've got a chat GPT that you can just talk to, that does this almost as good a job as if we were there. But if it's something that I can get people to go through by themselves and then we go deeper live, that's a much better experience for me. It's a much better experience for them, and it's a quicker journey as well. So, of course, being brave enough to say, they'll get me, I'll get them to the finish line, whatever the finish line is, and I'm going to make sure I'm going to improve the journey as I go based on the feedback. That is crucial, and you got to trust that you're going to figure it out, because you can. You're great at what you're doing.
Can I say something about the automation? Yeah. So yeah, the AI, look, there's two pathways to that, and it's really helpful. But I really have to emphasize this, that there's AI, which I still use, but having someone there, like, when you were there guiding me. So if I do something on AI and come back to you, you'd say, you can tell this is AI, go back, tell your story, whatever. So there is this place for automation and AI, and also for using a platform. Like, I use Kajabi, and I didn't make use of it as much as I could have done until I started working with you. And the difference is, I could have gone to somebody to say, oh, just help me with Kajabi. And it's not enough. It's like, what is the purpose of this? And how do you make the most of it? Having a community. But, learning has shifted, and learning is changing. Is how do we embrace the technology while still honoring the nervous system and not having to be there all the time? So audio is such a great way. So I just wanted to add that little bit.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of things have changed since we started working together. So I'm curious to know, what this big transformation in what you've built so far personally meant to you?
I have more energy. I can say no to things. The biggest transformation is the income that I'm generating with less effort.
This is music to my ears.
But it also reflects my practice, right? It's like, that I work with the body, and the body likes less energy for more. The body uses less energy to create energy. We have an embodied intelligence. So what we're tapping into is, AI is an artificial intelligence, but taking that embodied intelligence and being able to use the automations and the helping as many people, but really adding value in the transformation. So that's been the biggest, it's what I think I've been wanting to share this for so long, but I never thought I could unless I was there in person. And that was the sticking point too, because then it would be a whole thing of marketing and always seeing people one-on-one, and how many people can you see in a day? And it was just draining, like, plus my family, and there was just so much going on. And this way I can share this knowledge, knowing that even if someone does a YouTube video for free, it's still helping them. I'm getting that feedback, and that gives me energy. It gives me a sense of purpose. Because the joy that you feel when someone leaves you a comment is energy, versus putting all this in, and you give your heart and your soul, and you may not get that back. You can put all your energy into marketing, and I could kind of have the same message, but in a different way, but you're just draining yourself. So it's just, how do you how do you come to the space, which, with your help, this is where I'm at. The last year has been incredible. I contacted you exactly this time last year. Do you remember? And I was like, oh, but I'm going away to Australia and I don't know when I'm going to start. And you were there, because part of me was kind of in this low energy. It's like, oh, okay, I'll start it. But I literally did have a lot going on. And then my mum wasn't well at all. But I knew that I needed to take care of myself too. And I knew that I needed that investment, that energy, that asking someone to hold space for me would give me the energy that I require. I didn't know who that would be, but thankfully it was you, because I've done it before, and it's not worse. So that's where I'm at. The last year, like I say, I am now in my 60s. I never thought that after menopause I would feel this vibrant. And yes, it's my it's my practice, but it's also taking away that overwhelm that I came to you with at the very start. And I'm
There,
still with you.
you've got a, well, thank you so much for your kind words, but I think you've got a superpower as well, which I think everybody can learn from, is that you really listen to your inner intuition, your inner voice, and you allow that pause whenever you feel overwhelmed, because life is a duality of ups and downs. There's nothing we can do about it. Actually, that's the beauty of it. That's the design of it. But you are really good at sensing when, okay, this is a low vibration moment, and that's okay. I accept that. I'm not fighting it. I'm going to sit with it and see what arises. And then maybe you hear our voice because you send us a message, and then you sleep on it. And then the next day, everything is reset. I'm like, yes, it clicked now. I can move forward. Unfortunately, many people don't do this. And this is one of the simplest thing anyone can do, like literally sitting in silence for a while your body, mind, whatever that is, that I don't even know how to call it, does its thing behind the scenes. Right. And I think you are great at that. And that is part of like 50% of the reason why you are where you are right now. It's because you allow that. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. But let's say that is your talent and everybody should learn from it. What would say to, do you want to ask this one? Because I'm very curious. We want to help people make the same shift. So if somebody were overwhelmed by marketing, social media, and all the things that we talked about until now, what would you tell them to help them get out of that sort of state from your own personal point of view?
You can't do this on your own. I've been in my business on my own for a long time. There's a lot of things you can do on your own, and now with AI. But this stuff, especially if you're someone like me, I do what I do. Like I'm very good at. I know I'm very good at what I do. And in the same way that someone is coming to us as coaches for help, we need our own coaching, and we do definitely need that for however long. Sometimes it's not like therapy. It's kind of like you need somebody that can help you listen, because when we're in that overwhelm, we can't hear it. And even in my practice, at the heart of my practice, it's coming to pause and coming to quiet, right? But I don't have the skill or the knowledge or the experience that maybe you have had with working. You set up your own courses, you've done the hard grind and figured out what works and what doesn't work. Now I could go through that and figure it out for myself, but I'll probably be burnt out by then. So I'm listening to, these guys have done it. And that's what we do, right? If in the same in my practice, it's like, hey, I've done this. I can guide you to, you don't have to go and figure out 10 different ways of moving your body. You can come to this and I can show you, for example. So it's the same thing. Anyone who's struggling, and I've spoken about you to my whole family, to people in my circle. It's like, this is the help that I needed. And when I went to, because my family know me, when I went to Australia in December last year, I remember sitting in a coffee shop before we started our first session, and I was chatting to them, and I was saying, I'm going to be taking these. We had already had our one-on-one. I'm going to invest in this. It feels right for me. I feel held. I had already had that session with you. Follow that inner voice. If you're feeling overwhelmed, you need to pause and find the support that you need. And in my practice, we call it co-regulation. There's self-regulation where you can kind of, calm yourself and whatever, all of that. But co-regulation is when you need something from the outside to calm your nervous system, whether that's a person, whatever that is. And that's what I would highly recommend. We live in a time where we are bombarded with noise, right? It's just so loud, we don't even realize, and our body cannot take it. So for me, it was so important to know that, to listen to that, and to know that I need the support. I can't do this on my own. And it's the best investment you'll make if you are serious about, living that life and that offering something. And I've known this for a while, but it was finding the right energy for that. So, yeah.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, we've invested lots of money in high-level mentorship as well, and that's how you increase your context, because content is everywhere. You can learn from anything, but if your context is not expanded, you'll never be able to reach what you need. And I feel like mentoring is important for you to allow your consciousness, your mindset, your bucket to be wider, so that you can have more, handle more, and actually understand what the new direction is.
Yeah.
And it's easy when your body knows best anyway, so it's going to tell you if you allow it.
And
Yeah.
it's also beautiful to see how you are attracted to certain people at specific time of your life, because you know that you need a specific energy. You need, like, sometimes it's a pull energy that you are very hype, or something that gets you going. Sometimes it's that lower, a little bit calm, directive, very very clear path, or it made me laugh when you said you just need someone that co-regulates, right? So it's like sometimes the snap, I'm like, you've just put me way too much, like, stop, it's enough, I don't want to do this anymore. That's what was when things in the business were going really well, was that I can't keep up with this energy. It's like the vibration is up here and it's insane, and I needed to slow down and to stop and to have a moment of quiet, because if I don't have my moment of quiet, I can't be up here all the time. So there is that research of how can you regulate, how can you self-regulate. I love this. And how can you co-regulate the path and that you are walking. So I
We
co-regulate each
we
other.
co-regulate a lot. We are pole opposites. We are completely complementary. That's why.
And when he's too quiet, I'm like, come on, we got to
Yes.
do something. We got to do something. So that's the way it is, and it's beautiful. But also, when we are too much like this, we also need an outside view to say, guys, stop or keep going. This is the energy that you need, because when you're so involved with yourself and with your own environment, you don't have that perspective. And most of the time, someone that is outside, a coach, a mentor, is right there to make you see what you don't see, because you're too attached. It's like I say this is like, it's like you're behind a tree and you say, but if you just move to the side, you can see the whole forest, right? It's like, no, but I can see the tree, but it's the only thing I can see is the tree. It's like, no, move on the side, you can see the rest of the forest.
Yeah.
And then you have perspective in that. And that's exactly
Yeah.
what a coach does. And it
Yeah,
doesn't matter
exactly.
in what and how we do it.
Yeah. I mean,
Even in
sometimes think that, okay, we'll have a colleague, or we have someone, or someone who knows your business, or it's not the same. You actually need a business coach, not a life coach, but maybe a business coach who knows about life is really helpful for sure, like you guys do. But I mean, I don't even know if a business coach is the right term in this environment that we're in, but a coach or a mentor really who's been through it. But there's just little things as well, like, for example, crafting my sales page. And that's, Iacopo, that's your skill. That's what mentorship is. It's different to coaching, right? Mentorship is someone who has a skill that they can transfer to you, but also looking at the whole in terms of coaching. So it's really important. The questions that you've asked me based on my lifestyle, what I would want to earn each month, starting with that, but also looking at the reality of it. And the biggest shift, like you're saying, you're paying your mentors. Through this journey, I've realized what value means. And I'm embracing the value that I offer in my own practice. And I think for many, many years, it had been lost somewhere. And I'm really, even with my current program, I'm hearing things like, oh gosh, this is such great value. You know, but it all starts with an energy, your own way of being, what you feel can be stuck in a habit or a pattern. And that's why it takes somebody outside. And I used to say to my colleague, can you just ask me questions so I can figure out myself? And because I'm the mentor, I'm always asking her. And or my daughter be saying, I'm always asking you questions. Why can't you just ask me questions so I can figure out, you know, when I was in that space. And no, you need to kind of just invest in people and who really like love what they do, and yeah, you know your stuff. So that's what value is. It will change your life. That's how it feels.
I feel like when you know your value, it's everything clicks into place as well when you want to sell it, because it's not more about, oh, I need to sell now. I feel friction. It's like, no, actually they need this because I know how good it can be for them. So that is their next step. I know this in my bones, so I'm going to be excited about presenting an invitation for them to take it. Because if they
Yeah,
don't, they're stuck with their problem, and I cannot have that happening. It's a completely different shift when you are sold on yourself first.
yeah,
That's a transfer of energy. Is not about selling anymore. It's about, I'm so excited about what you can do, and I'm going to show you how how I see you achieving this. Do you want to take the first step? I mean, this
yeah,
is literally common sense of like rule number one, how to be a human being, right? We
yeah,
back to
yeah,
basics. Like we don't
yeah.
have to go through so many selling training to understand this. It's more like this is normal. This is organic. This is how we are here for, what we are here for.
Yeah, I think also the big shift for me in terms of value was that very first question around how you want to live your life. Because I love living my somatic life, right? And it was respecting that energy in your body. It's like living from your body. What is your body asking for? And how do you value that first? That's me personally, is how do I value this energy that my body requires? And how do I respect that? And if I am going to share this, what would it take for me to honor this energy that I have? I know it sounds weird, but it's almost saying like, what does that person who's coming to you, what is their value? What is it that they value? That's the shift that's beginning to happen for me. Where my value. What is the value? What is it that I want for myself? And then, like I did with you, so I was kind of valuing where I'm at, and the way that I saw the interaction with you is almost like you asking me, how much do you value your life for you to make a change? And that's the big shift that's happened in the last day or so. It's like, I want to work with people who really value themselves. It's like, how much do I value myself for me to make this investment? Because working with you, that's what came up. It's like, I am willing to make this investment because I'm valuing this energy, this experience, this knowledge that I have that I want to share. But if I'm just scratching and I'm trying to do this on my own and it's not valuing it, I'm wasting a lot of energy. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the first thing you said to us on the first call was, I think I'm ready. I deserve to be guided. And that was going back to full circle and now understanding I deserve to be valued. by myself first, and then by doing that I acknowledge that I need support, and through that support I can amplify the impact that I want in the world, also taking care of my needs, my lifestyle, and how I want to conduct myself.
Yeah.
That is perfect.
Yeah.
You really are becoming the embodiment of what you preach and who you are and what you value. And the moment that you put it out there, people that value themselves and value what you do, they are just going to say, where do I start? I want to like open doors for me because here I am, I'm ready. And the more you are ready with yourself, because your energy says it, it's like I'm ready, I'm here, you know, this is who I am. In unapologetic, like that, being unapologetically ourselves says a lot of where your standards and boundaries are, and the fact that you value your time and your life, your moments, your moments with people that you care about, but also moments by yourself, because most of the time we don't spend enough time with ourselves, listening into ourselves and our needs. And that is a part of the value that we have and that we create for ourselves and others. And I'm so curious to know also, because you are in this special part of your life, in this incredible, it's almost like I can feel you bubbling, you know, when like the water starts bubbling from the bottom up and it's just about to burst like a volcano. And I would love to know, what is your next step now? Where are you going, or what have you got? So where is this energy taking you?
Well, I've got, of course, the certification. That is my next offer, but also how to, I mean, we've been working together on how to guide that, how to honor that, and how to just kind of keep everything in flow. So I've got the foundation now. I'm not even, it doesn't feel like last year, the year before last. Oh, I still have to launch this and I still have to do that. And oh, in this month, I need to do this. So where I'm at right now is to get this kind of flow coming in. And I've got people like on a waiting list now, which I didn't have before. And it just feels in resonance. I'm coming into resonance with, that's where I'm at right now. And I want to keep with that kind of resonance. And it's taking, I think we had a little chat, Iacopo, this week around even the certification, what I thought I needed to do, because I went back to the old pattern. And what you guided me to was actually, I already have a waiting list. So I want to be there. That's my next step. How I'm feeling now about having the waiting list and that's where I hoped I would be. And that's where I'm arriving in that space. Yeah.
So good. You make me so proud. And I love that you're helping people in such a profound way. And because I want more people to know what you do and who you are and how you can help them, we're going to put some link of your choice in the description below so people that can check out what you do. You can send us the link, whatever link you want. So they can follow you on Instagram or actually YouTube, because I think you're doing most of your work there.
Mm.
Yeah, yay, go YouTubers.
Yeah, I'm getting such good feedback. I'm surprised. 'Cause I honestly feel I'm not putting as much as I would like to, but I've had some really great comments recently. I had somebody just email me out of the blue saying, your channel's just magic. I just wanted to reach out and tell you. And I'm getting that back, which is like, okay. And there's always going to be one or two negative comments. I'm okay with it. I welcome those and I just keep going. So yeah. So YouTube
If
would
you're
be a
doing
good place
anything,
for anyone curious.
oh yeah, absolutely. We're gonna put the link in the description. Don't worry about the negative comments. They are just the indication that you're doing something right. Because if you
Yeah.
just bland and vanilla, nobody even notice you and you don't get any more comments. So well done. Get your haters as soon as possible. You know you're doing something right.
Yeah.
Yasmin, it's been a pleasure having you on the show.
You
Hope it was the same for you. We learned a lot
always.
from you.
You've got a special energy about you. There is something in you that is so attractive, so it just vibrates. It said that I can feel
Soothing.
soothing but also bubbling. There is a hidden
Both.
energy in her that is come from the outside but is so strong and powerful from the inside. And it's always a pleasure to be around you or receiving your messages in the morning, because I can feel that and I know that it's going to be a great day. Every time, every day, it's going to be a great day. So thank you.
Thank
Amazing.
you. Thank you.
Thanks again, Yasmin, for being with us. And I'll see you in the next episode.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Have a great day.
You too.